What's going on, guys? Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Red and Gold Standard Podcast. My name is Zach Hernandez, and as always, I am joined by my co-hosts, Matt Llewellyn and Mike Andrews of Nothing But Niners. Almost said Matt twice. We got Mike joining us from the game, from the car, leaving from the game. Matt, it's great to have you back. We have the trio back again.
Yes, sir.
We're recapping a 49ers 34-24 win in the Meadowlands versus the New York Giants. Before I toss it over to my guys, if you're watching on X, do us a solid, hit like and repost. Do us a solid on YouTube as well and hit like and subscribe. Hop in the chat. Make sure you're hopping into both 49ers Hive and Nothing But Niners. Show us some love. We really appreciate it. Now that I got that out of the way, Matt, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Zach. Good to be back. Missed you guys. Had to take care of some stuff, but we're all good. So good to be back and talking football after a win. And I know, apologies to everybody out there. I know we couldn't make things work between, Zach planning his upcoming nuptials and everything else. We couldn't plan a preview show, but if we were going to miss one, boy, was this the one to miss because the Giants are stinky.
Yeah, thankfully. Mike, how you doing?
Guys, I'm having a great time, man. It's been a hell of a day, man. Good food, good people. We tried doing our damnedest out there, man. We were out, saging the parking lot and hoping for no injuries, and it almost worked, man. It almost worked, but to know, the Niners just are uncursable. I don't know what the word is, but you can't fix the Niners, man. So I'm excited to talk about this. Happy to do the recap. I'm looking forward to this conversation we're about to have.
Yeah, I mean, let's get right into that. So obviously they won, but
real quick, can I ask a question, Mike? How was the stadium experience at MetLife? Like, I don't think most of us have ever been there. So what's a comparison to like Levi's and stuff like that?
Yeah, so it was actually really cool. As far as like the fan engagement and all that stuff, everybody that was near me was very, very hospitable. And good spirits, joking and everything, interacting with me from start to finish. People were buying me stuff. I make it a point to laugh and joke with everybody around me. It's only like the drunk jerks that are like, oh, you got to shut up. Like, and I got one of those guys out there. But even the Giants fans that were with me were like, hey, this guy's been nothing but hospitable and great. So, like, calm down. Don't even talk to him like that. I didn't even realize he was talking to me for the most part. And then as far as like the stadium itself, I feel like these stadiums were built in the same time frame, and the design feels very, very similar. So the seating was good. I was in the sun the entire time, which this time of year is great. It was a solid like 60 degrees here, but sitting right in the sun, it felt really, really good. And so I appreciated the weather that we had out here today. No jacket. I don't know if you guys can see. I'm just in a jersey, man. No jacket or anything like that. Nothing needed. And it's been like this from start to finish. So I really enjoyed this atmosphere. I enjoyed the stadium. I enjoyed the people out here. It was really good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So Mike alluded to it. Burnt sage in the parking lot, trying to get the 49ers this bad juju away from them, and it almost worked. It really did almost work. This MetLife turf is notoriously bad, known for just taking injuries left and right. But of course, we couldn't escape without something, and unfortunately, it is suspected to be the brutal, I should say, ACL injury from Mykel Williams, our first-round pick, who was coming along, filling in for Nick Bosa, basically. Since Bosa went down in week 3, I want to say, with an ACL versus the Cardinals.
So sounds about right.
Yeah. Now the 49ers, if this is correct, if their suspicions are correct, will have lost their top 2 pass rushers. Well, I guess Bryce Huff, you might say, is a 2, but certainly you spend a first-round pick on a pass rusher, an edge. He's going to be one of your better ones. So it's unfortunate that happens on a play where he was almost getting to Jackson Dart 2 for a sack. His knee just kind of pressed weirdly into the turf.
And let me throw shade. Was it Trent Green? Was he the color guy today?
I didn't even pay attention, but I think it was, yeah.
Let's see if I can look it up real quick. CBS. I don't know. I don't know if it was Trent Green or whoever it was, But they were talking about the Michael Williams injury, and it's like, oh yeah, like looks like he hit his knee on the turf, and it was like his left knee, but then he grabs his right knee, and I'm like, dude, you're not even looking at the play.
Right.
And what I saw was the step before he went down. I saw a small little buckle of the knee. That really wasn't a contact injury, and at first I was like, ooh, okay, maybe it's like an MCL sprain or something like that. But with that inner turn, that inner shearing force, yeah, it's you see those buckles, it's never a good thing. And he was down right away, and it kind of sucks. But I don't know. My worry is this, and we'll get to the game, but my big worry is that now, because they won, they're 6-3, which is fantastic, right? You're going to probably get reinforcements, so you're probably getting Huff, Purdy, Pearsall, like a couple other guys back next week. I wonder if that's going to cause them, now that Michael Williams is potentially out for the season, you already lost Nick Bosa, do they now overextend to fill those spots at the trade deadline? Do they get too aggressive? Because word on the street is from Jay Glazer and others is that they're burning up the phones trying to find somebody. And a lot of people have them linked to Trey Hendrickson and maybe Logan Wilson of the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals almost pulled one out in Chicago. It looks like they're going to lose last second to the Bears, which means they're going to be like 2-7 or something like that. They're probably going to be sellers, particularly with Hendrickson, because he's going to be a free agent. Do they overextend to get some guys? That's my worry, because you go all in this year, and it's right. Do they go all in like the Rams did back when they won the Super Bowl, or do they kind of try to rebuild this offensive line? Because if they overextend, this offensive line is going to suffer still. So I don't know. It's what I'm worried about. They won. They lost another defensive guy. Do they feel like they have to fill that void?
Bengals are 3-6, but not far off from what Matt said. I just saw the score. That's crazy. Can't believe the Bears came back to win that with like 40 seconds left.
I can't believe they were up 41-27.
Yeah, true.
And then gave up 2 straight scores. Wild game, man. Wild game.
Yeah. I do think the 49ers are going to make a move. The trade deadline is Tuesday, in case you all forgot or didn't know that. Trade deadline is Tuesday, so any moves that need to be made, they've been linked to, like Matt said, Hendrickson from the Bengals, pass rusher Logan Wilson, the linebacker, who requested a trade this offseason, by the way, and has been supplanted by a rookie linebacker. So he's not getting as many snaps. He's not starting. And then Cam Taylor-Britt.
Was he inactive today, too? I think they held him out. Both. And Hendrickson was held out. Yeah. Hendrickson's hip injury is not a serious injury. So
they were also held out of practice Thursday and Friday.
Yeah. We might have lost Mike for a little bit. I'm sure he'll be in and out as he goes through the different traffic areas and loses reception, but we'll keep you guys posted. But yeah, I feel like those guys were held out pending a trade. And if the Niners get desperate, I feel like they could pony up for that. And that could be dangerous.
Yeah. So there's Mike back. So I do think they make a trade, whether it's one, whether it's two. But I understand not wanting to spend capital on if this year isn't a Super Bowl roster, which with all the injuries, it's really hard to say. Yes, they are. But if they can get a guy that has like a year this year and then at least next year on the roster, I wouldn't be opposed to it. As long as they're not giving up like a first or a second, like anything third and after, I think we could make work. I jokingly was talking with the 49ers Hive chat today that, Juwan Jennings had a good audition for the Giants today, right in their home, because the Giants have been rumored to want Jennings. They're looking for receivers. The Steelers are also looking for receivers. And from what Rap Sheet said this morning, Ian Rappaport, the 49ers are fielding calls or receiving calls, I should say, on Juwan Jennings and his availability, which we all know he requested a trade just 3-4 months ago as well. So
yep.
Maybe Juwan Jennings and Jair Brown get paired in some trade with a pick or two for a player in return.
And for what it's worth, by the way, or I mean, you do that independently. You trade Jennings independently. For what it's worth, there was a report that said that the 49ers were actively shopping Juwan Jennings or fielding calls or whatever. It was either liked or retweeted by Ben Albright. So watch out for the Broncos too.
True.
Because the Broncos might want receiver help.
Yeah. Yep. All right. So let's get to this game. And yeah, you were right, Matt. It was Trent Green and Kevin Harlan. So the 49ers start on defense, and they almost get a stop on third down. I'm not going to go play by play like we normally do. Maybe drive by drive is a little easier, but instead the Giants keep the drive going. They had a 3rd and 5 to start start the game. And Jackson Dart, of course, scrambles for the first down, gets 6 yards. These mobile quarterbacks always give 49ers fits. No matter who it is, no matter if it's Lamar, Russell Wilson, Jackson Dart, it's always an injury. Always a first down. So they end up, after a couple runs, couple passes, it was kind of like death by 1,000 cuts, 5-yard run, 7-yard pass, 5-yard run, here or there. And then they end up 1st and goal or 1st and 10 at the 15, and they hit Theo Johnson in the middle for a touchdown. And then the Niners get the ball, and they go on a 12-play, 68-yard drive themselves. Start off with Kittle for a 4-yard pass, and then right after that, it's 3rd and 7 after an incomplete or a stuffed run. Jones hits Jennings for 6 yards, and it's 4th and 1 at like 1.5 at the Niners 41-yard line, They kept the offense on the field and then brought the punting unit out and then called a timeout. What did you guys think of this decision? Because they ultimately decided to go for it and they picked it up. But was that a little too risky and to start the game on your own 41-yard line? What did you guys think?
No, I think real quick, I just think that you go for that right off the bat. Like, what are you talking about? You're kind of in no man's land. And it, as soon as they took the timeout, I knew they were going for it. The only thing that I can think of was that they didn't see where the spot was, how long that 1 yard was. And so they wanted to take time. But as soon as they called the timeout, I knew they were going to go for it. Because if you send the punt team out there and you get a 5-yard penalty at the 41, you go back to the 37, you can still boot that and do a pretty good punt and potentially, down them inside the 20 if you get a good enough roll on it. So to me, it was kind of poor timeout management. It didn't end up coming back to hurt them. Although I will say the 49ers on that sneak 100% got away with a false start. Kyle Juszczyk was moving like a full half second before that ball was snapped. So they definitely got away with one. Otherwise, that would have been a critically wasted timeout on that.
Well, they got Juszczyk later on a BS illegal motion where he wasn't shifted. Mike, what were your thoughts on that decision to go for it on 4th down there?
Yeah, I actually liked it a lot. This is cool to be a team that you're supposed to be better than straight off the gate. And, if you let them march down the field on you, I think the Giants converted 1 3rd down that entire opening drive. I mean, it was just 1st down, 2nd down, 1st down, 2nd down, 1st down, 2nd down. They marched right down the field and scored on us. At some point, you got to say, hey, look, we're going to go out there and earn this one. We're not just going to go through the motions every game, every drive. So I like that they decided to go for it. I thought they were going to try to catch them, make them jump off sides. I didn't think they were really going to snap it. You know what Kyle's like infamous for. But I was very happy when they decided to go for it and they got the conversion because like I said, you got to go out there. This is a team you're supposed to be better than. This is a team that, even though you're on the road, we were 2.5-point favorites by the time kickoff started. Like, you go out there and you got to take it. You don't just sit there and let the game come to you. You take it. You dictate the pace of the game, the flow of the game. And that's what they did on their first offensive drive. I like.
Yeah, I was happy with it. The clocks went back, so we gained an hour. Mike, I don't know if you guys do daylight savings over there, but we do. Okay, so wake up, had a rude awakening. That's another story. But I get up and I'm like, well, shit, I'm up now. I have time to get a workout in before the game because usually these 10 a.m. kickoffs here on the West Coast, it's hard to get a workout in. But I got one, so I had to listen to that first 2.5 drives in the shower, and I was so confused. By the way, Mike, on the game broadcast, the Niners fans at MetLife were loud as hell. All we could hear was the Niners fans cheering. It sounded like a home game. So shout out to you guys because they made that very, very difficult for the Giants.
In particular, Juszczyk's couple of touches, you could hear the juice like real loud. So very, very good.
Yeah. Also, I see the chat saying, why was Mike Hill in? I mean, he's a rookie, guys. They only have so many defensive linemen to play. I was more upset that McCaffrey was playing with.
Yes, that's the one. Yeah, the last carry that McCaffrey had. It's like, what are you doing, man? We got Garendo's active, right? Just throw him out there. Like, who gives a shit? Just tell him to cover up the ball, man.
Yeah, so I'm not so mad at Mike Hill being in. He needs the reps. It's unfortunate what happened. There's 4 minutes left. Like, shit just happens, man. It sucks. this medical staff is often wrong in like the way to where they say it's not that serious and it ends up being more serious. I'm praying they're wrong in the opposite way for the first time, where they say it's very serious, that it ends up not being that serious. I'm praying we wake up and it's like, oh, it's like a sprained MCL and he's out 4 weeks. I don't know. Just please not the season. I guess we'll see. So it's tied 7-7. And then the Niners get a 3-and-out. Like, when do we ever get these 3-and-outs since everybody's gotten hurt? Almost never. Giants, and only get 8 yards on third down. Upton Stout with a great tackle on Darius Slayton on 3rd and 9. He only allows 7. And the Niners get the ball back, start at their own 20 after a touchback. 12-yard pass to Juszczyk. 12-yard run by McCaffrey. McKivitz flagged for a false start, so it's 1st and 15, but McCaffrey runs for 8 yards. Robinson a 16-yard run, 1st and 10 all the way down to the 37, and Jones hits Kendrick Bourne for 21 yards. 1st and 10 at the 16. McCaffrey gets stuffed. 2nd and 12 at the 18, and Jones hits Kittle for 7 yards. And then 3rd and 5 from the Giants 11, and Juwan Jennings is in the flat. He runs that little, double out route, whatever it's called, and loops around, gets the defender Black on the ground, kissing the ground like it was a holy land, and Jennings walks into the end zone untouched. I mean, it was a great play. And they're up 14-0. And at this point, Jones is like, 10 for 10, 9 for 9, I think he was. What are you guys thinking at this point? The offense is humming. Matt, what are your thoughts on the first 2 drives?
Yeah, it was nice. It was efficient. It was good play calling. It was good execution. It was okay. What's different about today? Oh, Spencer Burford's playing. Maybe that's something that we can hang our hat on. And so it did look a little different. And, Hennessy, I didn't notice him out there, which I noticed Jake Brendel. So not noticing Hennessy for me is a good thing. So that left side of the line was a little bit better today, and it showed in their efficiency and being able to do some things. Mac Jones started this game 14 of 14, which was really good. So, I know that social media is going to be pretty ugly this week because it always is, but we'll have a year at some point where we don't have a quarterback controversy. But it was promising to start. And the thing is, the 49ers, if they are a good team, which we all think that they are, despite all the injuries and everything else, you go out there and you beat up on a bad team, and they were able to do that. You do what you're supposed to do when you're against an inferior opponent. They didn't play down to the Giants, at least on the offensive side of the ball today, and that was very promising to start.
It was impressive. It's something we haven't really seen aside from the Falcons game, but even then it wasn't as quick going as this game was. Mac was looking good. McCaffrey was looking good. And then the Niners ensuing drive, they kick off up 14-7, and the Giants only get 1 first down. They get up to the 49ers 47, and then they're flagged for a false start, so they're backed up, and then they're flagged again for a false start, so the Niners kind of lucked out. It's 3rd and 13. Mike, I know you're thinking the same thing I'm thinking. They always give up 3rd and 13s, always give up 3rd and longs, but no, instead they Dart hits Theo Johnson for 7 yards, and Bethune and Winters team up for the stop. 49ers get the punt after 5 plays, and Sky Moore catches it at the 49ers 18. Wasn't too upset with him for that play. By the way, am I wrong to say this was Sky Moore's best game? Like, I thought he was pretty solid today. He had a couple good returns. He had a couple good catches. I was happy with him. Jordan Watkins had a catch on the first drive too, I believe. Like, okay, getting these younger guys involved. Well, Sky Moore maybe isn't as young, but you know what I mean. Inexperienced guys involved. So then the Niners get the ball with, 9:28 left in the second. Jones hits Kittle for 11 yards. McCaffrey, 2-yard run. Jones hits Jennings for 20 yards. They're down to midfield. Caffrey for 2 yards. Jones scrambles for a yard, and it's 3rd and 7. And unfortunately, Jones can only hit McCaffrey for 2 yards. And on 4th and 5, the Niners have to punt. And I'm thinking, damn, we had a chance to go up 2 scores. Instead, the Niners are going to allow the Giants to come back and tie this up. The defense looked kind of the first couple of drives, but they were doing the bend, don't break type thing. And after they punt, again, the 49ers got a 3-and-out. Singletary 3-yard run. Dart was sacked. I don't know how he held onto this ball. Cleveland Farrell got pushed behind the quarterback, was in the end zone. Dart scrambling, looking for a receiver, and he gets slammed from behind. Mike, I don't know if you were on that side of the field, but what did that look like in person?
Yeah, that's actually the exact side of the field that I was on, and where I'm watching, I'm like, "There's no way he's going to get him. There's no way he's going to get him. Like, he's got to get rid of this ball." And then he doesn't, and I'm like, that ball didn't come out?" Like, I'm watching it, and I was right there on that side of the field, man. It was pretty incredible. I like seeing the pressure, and I'm like, "All right, let's go." Well, the sack, I should say. Farrell coming in, making his presence known in his first game back as a Niner. Right away, I was ecstatic about it. And then the drive before that, though, I just want to say. If there was a thought in your head that the Niners weren't in that stadium, when they go from 3rd and 3, they get the false start, it's 3rd and 8. The Niner fans just get even louder on the next third down, and then it's 3rd and 13. Like, that place was rocking, man. It was absolutely incredible. I'm sitting all the way up at the top. Well, I was in the middle section. I was in the 200s, not the 300s, but I was in the middle section, and you could hear it, man. It was just like the noise was everywhere, and I'm like looking at the crowd, and like you could see just how well blended we were into that crowd in there, man. This was the first. They told me this was the first sold out game for the Giants of the season, and so I mean, it just speaks to how well the 49er fan base travels. We're walking out, and it was just a whole bunch of people in red. Now, I will say. Giants fans started leaving a little bit earlier, probably with like 12 minutes left in the fourth quarter. They were leaving earlier, so that's probably why I saw so many Niner fans upon exit. But we were definitely in there, man. But that play, going back to that sack, man, I couldn't believe that he didn't get that ball out. I mean, he was right behind him. He knew which hand to use. It looked like he went to do the swipe, but then he like lowered his hand faster than what he should have, and just wanted to wrap him up and secure the tackle. So. I don't know what he was seeing and thinking at the time, but he didn't go for the sack, and it was there for the taking. Jackson Dart had no idea he was behind him, none at all.
It was really impressive. By the way,
he got blasted too. By the way, he got blasted. I was like, "How do you even forget about the dude that's behind you, bro?" Like, and that's by the way, Jackson Dart is fun to watch, but that kid takes a lot of hits, like a lot of hits. He's not going to last doing that, and it's crazy. It's crazy. He got walloped a few times today.
He did, including one BS penalty. Delvin Thomas to the super chat.
Yeah.
We won the game, but our podcast doesn't seem happy. It's bittersweet. It really is bittersweet. Because like, obviously we wanted them to win, but Michael Williams, it's like in the back of your head. Just thoughts and prayers for Michael Williams. Hopefully it's not as serious as they think it is.
It's Michael Williams combined with the fact that we lost Michael Williams, and now we're thinking about, okay, are they going to overextend for next year? And the fact is that even with Michael Williams, this defense gave up 24 points to the Giants.
Right. Yeah.
Well,
with, you know what I mean? Like that's kind of a problem.
Let me speak for myself really quick. I am ecstatic about this win. This was a great win. This win told me everything I knew about this team. I said, good teams can have a bad game. And I felt like that Houston Texans game was a bad game. Offense, defense, special teams, nobody looked good. Bad teams are the only teams that have those kind of games consecutively. I said, there's no way the Niners are going to have that type of game back to back. It's the same thing I said about the Texans going into the Niners game. I said, I watched that last game that they played against Seattle. Their offense just could not get it going. There's no way they have back-to-back performances like that. Good teams just don't do that. Even okay teams don't do that. Only bad teams have back-to-back bad performances. The Niners went out there and they did exactly what they were supposed to do. And I know that they scored 20, 27, 24. What they have at the end of it? 27, right?
24.
I know they had 24 at the end. When the Niners went up 2 scores, that was the softest defense they played all game long. I know we haven't gotten to it in the drive breakdown yet, but I said it to the Giants fans that were around me. I said, we're up 2 scores. You guys are about to score right here. And they were like, don't say that. You're jinxing us. You're jinxing us. I'm like, you don't know my Niners. I said, we're up 2 scores. It's the second half. They're going to let you guys score. That's just what they do for some reason. And no, I'm sorry. We actually went up 3 scores. I think we were up 17 at that point. And I said that we do this thing where if we have a score to give and the next score isn't going to result in a touchdown, they just play extremely soft and it's coming. And the lady was like, you're jinxing us. You're jinxing us. I was like, all right. And then when they scored, it was the play that Jackson Dart ended up running it in. I looked at her and she ended up giving me a high five. She was like, okay, you got it. Like, it's just, I'm not saying that the Niners gave it up on purpose. But what I'm saying is that they played softer intentionally. So I don't think that the final score is indicative of what our abilities were on defense this game.
Well, no, and to be clear, they gave up less than 300 yards of offense, so that's a good day. Some of it was field position stuff. Some of it, I mean, I'm sure we'll touch on it in the drive with the turnover. That was a big one, although that led to 0 points, thankfully enough. So pretty good. Yeah, we're not unhappy. We just have to get through like some of the crappier stuff of the game. The biggest story, obviously, is going to be Michael Williams. So, yeah.
Sadly, I just want to say shout out to Cleveland Farrell. We just signed this dude off the street. Well, he was with the Titans. Who was he with? He wasn't with the Titans, was he?
I think he might have been with the Titans. All I know is that that's his second time here because he was with us in 23, I believe.
Chargers. He was with the Chargers.
Welcome back, Cleveland Farrell.
Yes. Signed him on Tuesday or Wednesday, I want to say. Activated him up to the practice squad, and then we activated him off the practice squad, and he came in and got a sack for us. He was good. I said last year, because he left in free agency, I want to say last year, and before last year, and they didn't really ever replace that type of player where he was good against the run, he was able to set the edge, he was a good rotational guy. I'm happy to have him back. By the way, we had traded for Keon White from the Patriots, and he was getting pressure early on. He almost had a sack in that first drive. Unfortunately, the turf monster got him, and he slipped and fell. But he was that close to getting Jackson Dart for a sack. He was playing well. He looked good. He's number 56, in case you guys didn't catch him out there on the field. I'm saying to the chat, but he looked good. Okay, so the 49ers get a stop, and then they get the ball, and they get the ball at the 41. McCaffrey 2-yard run. Jones is sacked. This is after Sky Moore had a great return. Well, 15-yard return, but it was already to midfield, right, into the Giants' territory. 2-yard run, and then Jones gets sacked, which I'm like, dude, it's the one thing you can't do is take a sack right here because we're in field goal territory with under 3 minutes to go. 9-yard loss all the way back to the New York 48, and then he hits McCaffrey for 12 yards. 4th and 5 from the Giants' 36, and Eddie De Niro comes out for a 54-yard field goal. Did you guys see how close that was, Mike? I don't think you guys saw it since you're at the game. They showed the replay on the screen, and it just barely.
And it was low the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can tell that he's not a strength kicker. He does not have a strong leg at all. He laid it low on purpose to try to get the distance on it. And man, like I'm watching in the stadium, like where the hell did the ball go? Like, did that go in? Did it fall underneath or no? Like that's how I felt watching it live. I could not tell that thing went in. And they were like, "It's good," and I was like, "Oh shit, we got it!" Like, holy smokes, I didn't even see it. Like, and I'm recording on my tablet, trying to record all the big plays and big drives and key moments in the game on my tablet. And that one was just, I couldn't see it to make it out to save my life. But hey, this guy is still 100% for the 49ers this year on field goals. His only blemish is that first kick as a Niner, which was an extra point. So he's doing his thing, man.
And by the way, I would take a non-power guy who's accurate, a la Robbie Gould back in the day, than somebody with a big leg who is spraying it all over, a la Jake Moody. So that works out better. And, again, Eddie De Niro, I actually put in the chat, I was just like, it's nice to not really have to worry about kick attempts anymore. Like, it's just like, yeah. I expect them to go in now. Whereas before it was just like, man, we better not kick a field goal here.
I would try and be so nonchalant and like I wasn't just like, I'm sure this is going to go in, and like in the back of my mind, I'm like, fuck. And then, it'd be like wide left, like, oh, come on, Jake, come on, man. But yeah, thankfully that's not the case. After that kick, I believe he's 18 for 18 on field goals since joining the Niners. He ended up making, I think, 2 more today. But that was cool. He was number 18 was 18 for 18. So shout out to Eddie Pinheiro for coming through for the 49ers. That's like been the best addition so far for this team. And it wasn't even in the preseason. It wasn't in the offseason. It was after week 1, I think we cut Jake Moody after the Seahawks game. So, man, it's been a great addition. So, all right. That was right before half, right? There's 1 minute and 55 seconds left. And I'm thinking, okay, the Niners just got to play 2 minutes of defense. And they do. They get a 3-and-out. 2-yard pass. Dart scrambles for a yard, and then incomplete on 3rd and 7. If I remember correctly, Theo Johnson was wide open across the middle, and he just dropped it. He would have had the first down. So then the Giants punt, and the Niners, Colton McKivitz decided to take the play off, unfortunately, and Brian Burns got around the edge, and for some reason we were trying to put our foot on the gas pedal, apparently, with all these deep routes. There was nobody underneath for an easy outlet for Mac to throw it to. So he's dropping back, and he's standing there waiting for these routes to develop, and Brian Burns in like 2.5 seconds is behind Colton McKivitz. I don't even think McKivitz touched him. And he hits Jones as he's throwing the ball, and it goes up in the air, and then it's intercepted by a Giants defensive lineman. Abdul Carter, I'm pretty sure, caught it. They ruled it a fumble, which benefits Mac Jones. He still was perfect completion percentage going into halftime. But that was a turnover, and that was huge because the 49ers had just got a 3-and-out with under a minute. I think there are 40 seconds left when that happened. But the defense came up again. They didn't allow a single yard. First and 10 at the Niners 27 after the turnover. Tyrone Tracy gets stuffed for no gain. 2nd and 10, incomplete pass to Tyrone Tracy. 3rd and 10, incomplete pass to Theo Johnson. And then on 4th and 10, Graham Gano comes out and kicks a 45-yard field goal, and he misses it. He missed the field goal that would have cut it to 10-17, right? What are you guys thinking at this point?
Well, first of all, I sent you a video in the private chat. Can you play that, please?
Yeah.
There's something I need to get off my chest here. Just real quick.
His performance today. How do you assess Mac's performance today, and what does he just continue to show you week after week?
I thought Mac did a hell of a job. Extremely efficient what he was doing, going against a real tough pass rush. Probably only one negative play in the game, just the fumble there at the end of the second quarter. Hell of a play by, I think it was Brian Burns who did it. But Mac played really well, took care of the ball, got the ball to the right guys, and
that's
a couple plays with his legs too.
How in the blue hell was that a negative play for Mac Jones? Like, McKivitz barely... This team carries oceans full of water for Colt McKivitz. Oceans full of water. This dude sucks, and we're paying him $15 million a year. He didn't even touch Brian Burns until Burns was like a step away from Mac Jones. Completely beat on the edge, flat-footed, slow as shit. Looked terrible. It was like 2 seconds. Mac Jones tried to slide, couldn't even get over to slide. But the fact that Kyle had the audacity to be like, oh yeah, just the one negative play, the fumble in the second quarter, as if that was Mac Jones' fault. Like, come on, man. It just, at some point or another, these are the things that you know, like when I say for the last 3.5, 4 years that they need to upgrade the O-line, this is the stuff that I'm talking about. How many groceries have the defensive line been able to shop for? Prime, like Wagyu, whatever they want, whatever you need, whatever. And we're getting Kraft macaroni and cheese on the offensive line. And that shit is definitely cheesy. Let me tell you, Swiss cheese at this point, because McKivitz barely did anything. It was trash. So to me, like, listen, I get it. It was a play, whatever. It didn't end up ultimately harming the 49ers, but I cannot for the life of me understand the amount of water that they carry for Colt McKivitz. It's just like, dude, does he know where the bodies are buried or what? Like, does he have the secret to why the 49ers always get injured? Like, what does he have on Kyle Shanahan that they just completely excuse his dog shit play? I don't get it.
I'm hoping he didn't see the play clearly, and maybe when he watches the film on the plane, he'll come out tomorrow and be like, oh, actually, I that was on the offensive line. That was on Colt McKivitz. I mean, he probably won't, right? He probably won't. It's in the past. But yeah, I have no idea how you could put that play on Mac Jones. Maybe the only thing he's thinking is he needs to get the ball out faster, but you're calling a play where the routes are 10 to 15 yards down the field with no underneath outlet. It's not like he could have dumped it off to Christian McCaffrey. He even tried stepping up in the pocket. He just didn't step up enough. Yeah.
I didn't take it as Kyle saying that it was a negative by Mac Jones. It was like the only negative play, like including Mac Jones. But I could be wrong.
Well, but here's the thing. The question was formulated as, how would you assess Mac Jones' play? So inferred in that is when he says negative
Yeah,
play was a fumble, that's inferred to be Mac Jones' fault based off of the question that was asked. That's the only reason why I'm putting it that way.
Yeah, now that is safe to say. And Kyle isn't one to hold punches with his quarterbacks. When they have bad plays, he will like put them on the line once he has confidence in those guys. So it also could be a good thing about what we're hearing. You know, it's one thing when he's coddling these guys. When Kyle is coddling the feelings of his quarterbacks, he knows that he has to baby his play calling and cater to their deficiencies. When he starts like throwing them under the bus, he's like, hey, this is who you are now. And like, I know exactly how you're going to play. And this is what I expect of you. So it could be a good thing. But yeah, I have no idea how he could possibly interpret that play as something that Mac Jones did wrong, because there was just no time for him to do anything. I mean, the guy comes in untouched. That's not in any kind of play design or any play call that I've ever seen.
It was just ridiculous. Somehow the 49ers lucked out and Graham Gano missed from 40 in his home stadium. I text the guys, I'm like, luck is on our side today, gentlemen. Like, we are good. They did not get any points going into half. Niners got the ball back with 15 seconds left. Didn't even try anything cute. Just took a knee. I mean, they should have just tried to kill the clock. I get being aggressive and maybe trying to get one more score. But damn, did that play almost bite the 49ers. And I was telling the guys, if everything goes right, it could be 28-7 before the Giants even get the ball back, because they had the last drive. Well, there was like 6 minutes left in the second quarter, and then they got the ball to start the third. They could have doubled up on them, and they kind of did, but instead of 14-7, it was 20-7 because they had to settle for 2 field goals. They get the ball. It didn't go to the landing zone, so they start at the 40. McCaffrey 4-yard run, incomplete pass to Juszczyk. And on 3rd and 4, Jones hits Kittle for 10 yards. First down, incomplete pass. 2nd and 10, McCaffrey 3-yard. But Dexter Lawrence is flagged for holding, so you get 5 yards and a first down. We're already at the Giants 38. McCaffrey 1 yard. Jones hits Luke Farrell for 9 yards, who gets kind of pushed forward for the first down. McCaffrey gets stuffed for 4-yard loss. 2nd and 14, Jones hits Sky Moore for 21 yards. This was a great catch by Moore, by the way. And great throw, great catch, and a great effort hanging onto the ball while he was getting hit by like 3 defenders. And he gets all the way up to the Giants' 11-yard line. It was a 21-yard pass. And then Kittle had a jet sweep, which I thought that, Matt, we were laughing at this in Kyle's press conference because they asked, was that supposed to go to Kittle? And he goes, yeah. Terrible play, by the way. Terrible play. Which it was. I mean, George Kittle's not that type of speed guy to get it around. He's a speed guy, gets a linebacker, but not like that. Mike, you got something?
Right.
Giants fans next to me were like, does Kyle think that's Debo? Like, that's what Giants fans next to me said. I was like, I couldn't do anything but laugh with him. I was like, I don't know why he's running this play with George Kittle. It didn't make any sense to me at all. And I have a quick for you guys because I wasn't able to go through the stats. How many times did we punt the ball in the first half?
I could tell you right now. Oh, in the first half? Let's see. Touchdown. 1. Just 1. Because then there was a fumble.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's absolutely incredible. I gotta go through all the stats. I want to look at how we did on 3rd downs and everything today. But this was the bounce back game that the Niners needed for sure. That's all I got. But yeah, no, I don't know why he ran that play with George Kittle. That was just terrible ideas. Like, that's not Kittle's specialty at all.
So going through the stats, just real quick for you, Mike, just to give you a overview: 380 total yards, 221 in the air, 159 on the ground, 5.8 yards per play, 25 first downs, 6 of 11 on 3rd down, 1 of 1 on 4th down. Time of possession was 33 minutes, 11 seconds. They had the 1 turnover. They had 6 penalties for 34 yards. They allowed 2 sacks, and they only punted twice.
Nice.
Yeah,
I'll take
good
those
game.
stats
Good
any
game
day,
offensively.
yeah.
Like, honestly, super efficient. No real explosives, not a ton of explosive plays, but steady, chain-moving football.
Yeah. It was impressive. So the Kittle jet sweep gets stuffed for a loss. Let me go back to this drive. Okay. But sorry, I scrolled all the way up to see how many punts. Here we go. Kittle gets stuffed for a loss. And Mac Jones, incomplete pass to Demarcus Robinson. It looked like there was some confusion there between Demarcus Robinson and Kendrick Bourne. They didn't know who that pass was to. They both kind of ran and then stopped. So now it's 3rd and 13, and Jones goes for Jennings in the end zone, who was absolutely interfered with by the DB. I mean, he was all over him, had an arm wrapped around his hip, tackled him before the ball got there. But Jennings and the Niners just don't get those calls for some reason. So instead of it being
especially
PI,
not with John Hussey as the main official, dude. That dude hates us. I don't know. Again, he must know where the bodies are buried or something.
Yeah, it was ridiculous. It was clear PI, but what can you do? They don't call it. So the 49ers have to settle for a 33-yard field goal. And of course, Eddie Pinheiro is good. He was 19 of 18 at this point for his kicks from the Niners. So it's 20-7. Giants get the ball back. Dart hits Robinson for 8 yards. Tracy, 11-yard run. Dart scrambles, pushed out of bounds for 18 yards. This play was ridiculous because it was similar to the Baker Mayfield play where it was like 3rd and 18, where the Niners rushed 3 and they got all 3 of them. Maybe they rushed 4, but I'm pretty sure it was 3. All 3 get in and collapse the pocket. I want to say at least 2 had an arm on Jackson Dart, but he's able to run forward and scramble for 18 yards. And on top of that, Upton Stout was flagged for holding, so they gave them 5 yards on top of that. So it was a 23-yard gain in total. By the way, they never showed this holding. We're just supposed to take their word for it. They didn't show it.
They didn't even show it in the stadium. I was looking for it. They didn't even show it in the stadium.
Yeah. It was ridiculous. It's like, I guess we'll just take your word. Jawan Jennings was just tackled before the ball got there. Couldn't get a flag, but let's just throw a phantom holding, So that was frustrating. But on 1st and 10 after that run and penalty, Dart scrambled again. And this play was just absolute bullshit because he is running. He has given himself up as a quarterback. He is now a runner. And he goes to get the contact, and Bethune laid the wood, hit him. And it wasn't until afterwards that they threw the penalty flag and called unnecessary roughness against Tatum Bethune. Matt, what were your thoughts on that?
That was complete horse shit. First of all, he didn't make contact with the helmet. Second of all, he was already past the line of scrimmage and was essentially a runner. And third of all, even if it was close, Jackson Dart was the one that decided to lower himself. And it's like, what do you want a defender to do at that point? The contact was already being made before he was trying to slide, as it were. It's just, again, another one of those. Somebody in our chat was just like, they should get rid of the slide. And part of me kind of agrees, just because it's too much of a bang play. And you'll get things like CJ Stroud today where he goes to slide and a defender is just there and just, it wasn't a dirty play, right? Like he was initiating contact before the slide was there, but because his weight is starting to go back, if you take a hit there, you hit your head on the ground or whatever. I actually feel like that quarterbacks, as long as they do a head first slide, it's easier to protect yourself a little bit. So it's too nebulous to determine when can I hit him? When can I not hit him? You're flying around at such a speed that it's just like, what am I supposed to do? And yeah, this call was pretty egregious. I hated every second of it. And the flag came in super late. It was just another example of Hussey hating the 49ers.
Yeah. It was complete BS. Just pockets. I'm not going to lie. I'm happy Bethune hit him again. I mean, if you're going to give yourself up as a quarterback where you have certain protection that a runner doesn't have, then you're bound to take these hits. And Matt, like you said earlier, Jackson Dart was allowing himself to take these hits, play after play today, and he has all season. Even Trent Green and Kevin Harlan were talking about, at some point he's going to have to start protecting himself because you just cannot have a lengthy career as a quarterback taking these types of hits. And it wasn't even like an egregious hit by Tatum Bethune. I mean, was it a hard hit? Sure. But Jackson Dart's running right up the middle at him. Is Tatum Bethune just supposed to ask him to go down and not lay any contact whatsoever? Like, it's not flag football. So it was a complete BS call.
Well, and then you end up with the stuff like earlier in the year when Mahomes like fake gave himself up and then like sucker shotted the defender, or you get stuff like Kenny Pickett in college where he fakes a slide and then continues to go. It just, again, I'm all for wanting to protect players, wanting to protect quarterbacks because you don't want to get to your second, third, fourth string quarterback or whatever. We saw that with the 49ers in 2022. where that just was a nightmare. And at the same time, you're giving these quarterbacks the ability to kind of finesse. And it's one of the things that I hate about the modern NBA is how much you can finesse.
Yes.
You know, there was a big debate on Twitter about Giannis potentially not traveling. And it's just like, listen, bro, to me, back in my day of watching basketball, that shit was a travel. He took like 6 steps while he had the ball like off the thing and then gathered it and then took 2 more steps. But according to the letter of the law, it's not a travel. And it's like, I mean, there's the letter of the law and then there's the spirit of the law. And to me, when you're allowing these quarterbacks to take advantage of and abuse the fact that they're so protected, it's time to scale back some of those protections because, you know, it's a physical game and it's got to be a situation of fuck around and find out at some point because you can't keep punishing defenders for trying to make good football plays. And it's a confusing situation. Again, like I said, do you hit the guy? Do you not hit the guy? Do you have to pull up? If the guy fakes and then, you know, you don't hit him or whatever because you pulled up and he fakes you out and scores a touchdown, it's like that's your ass, you know? So I think there needs to be an adjustment of how they're calling that.
Yeah. It's funny. We were watching the Warriors game the other night and Ashley told me, I had no idea basketball was like such a big part was fouls. Like such a big part of basketball is knowing how to get fouled, going up under a guy's arm. I mean, James Harden.
Everybody's a flop merchant. Everybody's a flop merchant now. Yeah. My favorite GIF of all time right now is the LeBron GIF where he's holding his face like he got injured, and then he's like looking out and seeing if anybody's watching him. He's like, this is kind of leaking into football a little bit, where it's just like you don't need this. Like, it's not even gamesmanship; it's just being cheap. You know, it's being kind of shady and shitty about it, and there's no place for that. Just like there's no place for flopping in the NBA. You know, I don't know. A lot of the players, that's why I can't watch the NBA with any seriousness anymore. You know, your reigning defending MVP is out there like flopping all over the place. Every time I see him take a shot, he falls to the ground. You know what I mean? Like, but not even touched in that way. And he's just like gonna, you know, I don't know, man. And by the way, sorry, Stu, I know I'm talking shit about your boy SGA, but that dude is a flop monster.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Steph Curry could get like stabbed. And well, he doesn't drive. He doesn't drive. Yep. That's why he doesn't get penalties. You can get fouled on a 3. You can get fouled on any, like anyway. I'm gonna get carried.
Every time somebody's like, "Hey, LeBron's the GOAT," I just want to roll the tape from like the 88-89 season where Jordan had to go against the bad boy Pistons and how he was getting fucking fouled. And I'm like, nah, fuck out of here with that shit.
I mean, you used to get beat up playing these games.
Yeah.
And just gonna say, Draymond would have thrived back then, but he is in a different era now, and now he's a bad guy. Mike,
he would have been a fucking goon. Let's be real.
I just wanted to say that I think Bethune did the right thing. You know, there was a point in time where Russell Wilson and Colin Kaepernick were taking the league by storm. Even RG3 for a small bit with this read option thing, and defenders didn't know what to do. Do we pull up? Do we let them go? Blah blah blah. And at a certain point, you just got to teach these quarterbacks a lesson. You got to take the hit. You got to hit them. You got to take the penalty. And so I think that was the right thing to do. And that's what we're going to continue to do until the league makes an official decision on these guys have to give themselves up earlier, or they have to do something to show that they're going to let it go. And if they don't, then it's a penalty on the quarterbacks. So I think that Bethune did the right thing in that situation.
I agree, because like you said, what do you do there? You just ask Jackson Dart to lay down. You push him and you hope. I mean, earlier in the drive, Lenore tried pushing Theo Johnson out of bounds, and he couldn't. You know, it was a soft effort, and Johnson stays in bounds and gets the touchdown. So, as a defender, you either make sure they're out and then risk a penalty, or you don't do enough and allow them to gain more yards or whatnot. But the most frustrating part was that Dart had given himself up as a passer. Even Kevin Harlan and Trent Green were kind of surprised by that. But the ball don't lie. Thankfully, they did not get into the end zone here. After that play, they got all the way down to the 9-yard line. Incomplete pass to Darius Slayton. Renardo Green with a great pass breakup here. On this play, by the way, Lenore and Ray McLeod were going at it on the other side of the end zone. We all know Ray McLeod was here the last couple years. Prior to last year, had some words for the Niners when the Falcons played us a couple weeks back, even though he was inactive at home. gets released by the Falcons, gets picked up by the Giants. I think he was signed to the practice squad, if I remember correctly, and then he was activated for today. So he and Lenore definitely are not friends. So Lenore and him, thankfully there wasn't a flag. But then it's 2nd and goal from the...
I don't know why you would be friends with somebody who sold your team in the Super Bowl and then tried to double down and defend his actions.
Right. You know what's crazy too is I was watching random highlights on TikTok. I know the Niners divisional round versus the versus the Cowboys came up from Purdy's rookie year. And in that play too, Ray McCloud goes to field a punt and it just rolls right off his chest. Cowboys get it and end up getting a touchdown off of it. It's like, dude, Ray, you had so many fuck-ups for the Niners while you were here, including one in the Super Bowl that led to the Chiefs' first touchdown of the game. We were keeping them out of the end zone up until that point. But it is what it is. So thankfully they didn't call a penalty. And it was 2nd and goal from the 9. Jackson Dart, it looked like a designed run, gets 4 yards. And on 3rd and goal from the 5, Dart hits Singletary in the flat, but Mustafa was there and a great open field tackle, only allows 2 yards, and Gano has to come out and kick the field goal. So even after all the BS penalties, they only got 3 out of it. The Niners still have a 10-point
That was
lead.
a 22-yarder, right?
Yep.
Dude, Gano almost sold that one too.
It went up through like
That
the
one,
front corner.
yeah, that one was leaking to the left, and I was like, "Whoa!" And I was like, "Whoa!" If it would have been 5 yards further, it probably would have hit the upright, and bounced out.
Yep. So it's 20-10 at this point. By the way, at halftime, the Niners had the biggest lead of any team today at halftime. So that was nice because we're used to these fucking nail biters, man. But today they were able to get up and stay up. So the Niners get the ball back, but unfortunately they're not able to get anything going. Sky Moore, 21-yard return to the 24. McCaffrey, 7-yard run. McCaffrey, 2-yard run. 3rd and 1. This was complete bullshit. It looked like a design kind of trick play where Jones is looking at his wristband to McCaffrey, and then Kyle Juszczyk comes up under center, snaps the ball, and gets pushed forward for the first down. And then they call an illegal shift and claim that Juszczyk wasn't... Did I say Jones? Sorry. Juszczyk runs up under center and gets the first down. And they claim Juszczyk wasn't set. And they show the replay. Everybody is set. Literally everyone. Juice comes up, gets both feet set, waits a second, snaps the ball, and then gets the first down. So it was complete BS. So then instead of it being first down, it's 3rd and 5 because they get backed up 5 yards. And Jones throws it to McCaffrey in the flat, who can't come up with it. Yes, Mike.
If they didn't call that penalty, would Juice have gotten the first down anyway?
Yes. They called it a first down.
Okay, I couldn't see it. I couldn't see it from where I was. It was just a big scrum in the middle, so I couldn't tell if he got it.
Yeah. He got exactly 1 yard. So at least the broadcast was saying he got enough. The second effort got the first down. But then they called the penalty. So, and then on 3rd and 5, incomplete pass to McCaffrey. Niners have to punt. And this play, Gunnar Olszewski, Saran Neal is running up, and the dumbass Giants players kind of push Neal to the side, and then 2 Giants players run into Gunnar Olszewski, who was going to field the punt. Instead, it gets down by Saran Neal, and Olszewski kind of got shooken up. But it's a great 50-yard punt to the Giants 20, and the Giants get the ball, 6 plays, 20 yards, and then have to punt. It was 3rd and 8, and it was an incomplete pass to Wan'Dale Robinson. Sam Okuwanu got a sack on this drive, by the way. Shout out to him for a 7-yard loss, which set up the incomplete pass on 3rd and 8. So then the Niners get the ball back, still only up 10. It's, a close game where it's like, man, they're letting them hang around. Hopefully this doesn't come back to bite them because the Niners couldn't, get the death blow. But they get the ball at their own 24. Jones hits Bourne for 13 yards, 9-yard run by McCaffrey, a 10-yard run by McCaffrey, 5-yard run by McCaffrey, 4-yard run by McCaffrey, and then on 3rd and 1, he gets 2 yards. On 1st and 10 from the Giants 33, Robinson pitch to the right, gets 5 yards. Robinson run to the right, gets 10 yards. And then on 1st and 10 from the 18, Robinson run to the right, gets 18 yards, and he gets into the end zone for a touchdown. It was a great sequence. I mean, they were just running the ball down their throats. This was Brian Robinson's best game for the 49ers since he's been here. It was his first touchdown, by the way, as a 49er. Matt, what are your thoughts at this point? They go up 27-10 finally.
Yeah, at this point I was like, ooh, it's over. And, great run by Robinson. Like, dang, man, that was a tough run. definitely was physical there. And, even I was just like, dang, you got to get this guy more carries. He averaged 10 yards a carry today.
Damn.
Definitely came to play. Yeah, he had 10 carries for 58 yards, I believe. And let me double check that. I'm sorry. Excuse me. He had 5 carries for 53 yards today and a touchdown. So he averaged 10.6 yards a carry. And it's just like, man, let's save Christian McCaffrey a little bit, which, by the way, makes McCaffrey getting a carry with 1:20 left even more egregious.
Yes.
I'm just like, what are you guys doing?
I think he's fine. Go ahead.
I think he's finally finding his footing within this offense. And again, I do think that having Spencer Burford and Matt Hennessy in there has changed some of the dynamics for this run game. And obviously the big one is George Kittle, of course.
Right. The only thing I could think of is that McCaffrey wanted to stay in to get 100 yards rushing, because right when he got it, he kind of came out and
I've heard that McCaffrey, what was it? His former teammate from Brown from Carolina called him a ball hog.
Yeah. So Niners get in the end zone. Brian Robinson with a great run. He looked like he was stuffed for only a couple yards, or stopped, I should say, couple yard gain, and he just kept running. I mean, the man runs hard. 18-yard rush for the Niners. We haven't had too many of those this year. They go up 27-10. And then the ensuing drive, it was like the 49ers were playing prevent defense the whole time. Mike, you got something to say?
Yeah, so 2 things on this one. One, I thought to myself, I'm never staging again. When I saw Robinson get this many carries consecutively, I was like, Christian McCaffrey must have gotten hurt. Like, I was like kicking myself. I was like, what did I miss? When did it happen? Why is Robinson running so much? Right? The other thing is, if I'm not mistaken, Robinson has the 2 longest carries for the 49ers this year in very, very limited snaps, if I'm not mistaken. So, I mean, the guy clearly should get more touches. It should definitely be more of a 2-back system and not just reliant on Christian McCaffrey all the time. But I was happy to see McCaffrey come back, because I was happy that he was healthy, but not by the amount of time that was left in the game at that point.
Yeah. Agreed. It was his best game, like I said. Hopefully they could get him involved more. It's clear to me that it just needed some time to kind of get his style fitting in with this offense, what Kyle likes to do, and really just kind of blend. Plus, it helps when you're playing the Giants, who are allowing like 5 yards per carry on defense. But Matt, that's a great point. Spencer Burford comes back. The last time Spencer Burford was here, the Niners were able to run the ball really well. He replaced Connor Colby on the left guard today. We'll probably see that moving forward. He did have one brain fart today where he just let I forget who it was in unblocked and get the sack. But other than that, he was good. He was really good. So the Niners go up 27-10. And like I said, it was like they were just playing a soft shell prevent defense, because the Giants go start from their own 35, 24-yard pass to Slayton. A couple plays later on 3rd and 2, Jackson Dart runs out of bounds for 5 yards. 14-yard run by Singletary. Dart is only stuff for a yard, but then Williams is flagged for being offside, so it's 1st and 5 of the Niners 9 already. 3-yard run by Singletary, and then on 2nd down, Jackson Dart keeps it for the touchdown to make it a 10-point game again, 27-17. Like, my eyes right? But the Niners got the ball back. Are any of you guys nervous at this point, thinking they got back to 10 with like 6 minutes left in the fourth? Anybody? 8 minutes left in the fourth. Anybody like, damn, they're going to come back?
No, just because the 49ers had already been having their way with their defense pretty much all day. And like Mike said, when he was in the stadium, it's just like when the 49ers are up multiple scores, they start playing this, Gerber soft, Sharman soft defense. This was to be expected, and I wasn't that worried about it. If anything, I was like, okay, the 49ers are just going to do their efficient offense thing again and try to chew up some clock. It's weird because against a better team, I probably would have been a little pressed, but I know that the Giants just have gone through so much this season. They're so bad. I mean, you lose Malik Neighbors, you lose Cam Scatabo, you got a rookie quarterback in there. Your defense has just been awful, worst run defense in the league. The 49ers had been having their way with them so far. I just wasn't that worried about it. I thought if anything, they would chew clock and maybe add another field goal and, call it a day. But this game never felt out of hand for the 49ers. Even after that opening drive, they came back and scored right away. It just felt like it was going to be the Niners' day. they were clearly the better team, which is saying something given all the injuries the 49ers have had. But like, yeah, I wasn't worried at all.
Well, they were taking care of business. And after they cut it to 10, the Niners get the ball back at their own 40 because Brian Robinson had a 41-yard kickoff return. I mean, this dude was doing it all. He was running the ball, taking back kicks. I mean, he had a great run. And we saw Kyle Shanahan say, he flipped me on one because he took the kick. Where did he field this kick? He fielded it at the 1 yard line, negative 1 yard line. So it was in the end zone. And he took it out and he got to the 41 yard line. I mean, it was a great return by Brian Robinson. Almost broke it free. Almost did. And he hurdled the guy on top of that. So the Niners got great field position to start. McCaffrey was stuffed on first down. Jones hit McCaffrey for 39 yards. It was a catch and run. Great play by the Niners. That got the Niners down all the way to the Giants' 20-yard line. And after a 4-yard run in which Belton for the Giants was flagged for tripping, gave the Niners 8-yard penalty. I don't understand how that penalty is enforced. I think it was half distance to the goal because it was a personal foul. So then they get to the 8, and then McCaffrey 3-yard run. Jones scrambles for 2 yards, and 3rd and goal from the 3. You already know what it is. McCaffrey punches it in. Pinheiro makes the extra point, and just like that, they're back up 34-17, and they're up 17 points. Giants again get a soft defense and allow them to go down the field. 9 plays, 69 yards. This was the drive, if I remember correctly, where Michael Williams got hurt, unfortunately, on 1st and 10 from the Giants 31. Literally the first play on this drive, unfortunately. Jackson Dart went to pass, got pressured by Michael Williams, threw the ball away, and Williams got hurt with 4 minutes left, up 17. You just hate to see it. So the drive ends with Dart hitting Gunnar Olszewski for 24 yards for the touchdown, and the Niners get the ball back up 10. McCaffrey's still in, which is all of us kind of questioned, but it's possible he just wanted to get over 100 yards. 5-yard run by McCaffrey, 4-yard run by McCaffrey, and then he was taken out after he got 100 yards. And with 1:10 left, Brian Robinson on 3rd and 1 picks up 4 yards, which allows Adrian Martinez to come in and take a knee. So Niners win 34-24.
Good for the hometown kid, by the way, getting to do victory formation.
I didn't even realize he's from New York. Good for him.
Yeah.
That's cool. Just thoughts overall. I can go through some stats real quick. Jones, 19 for 24, 2 TDs. He had, I just had it here. I want to say 235 passing yards, average 9.8 yards a throw, was sacked twice. McCaffrey, 28 carries for 106 yards. Like you said, Matt, 3.8 per carry, 1 touchdown on the ground. Brian Robinson, 5 carries for 53 yards, another touchdown on the ground. McCaffrey again finished as the leading receiver, 5 receptions for 67 yards and a touchdown. Jennings was second, 4 receptions for 41 yards and a touchdown. I don't know if Jennings caught a pass in the second half, now that I think about it, because he had 4 for 41 in the first half, so it's possible he didn't catch anything else in the second half. Whereas on the Giants end, Jackson Dart finished 24 for 33, 191 yards and 2 touchdowns, was sacked twice, passer rating of 107. Jackson Dart finished as their leading rusher, 8 carries for 56 yards with 1 touchdown. Darius Slayton was the leading receiver, 5 carries for 62 yards, 5 receptions, 62 yards, no touchdowns. Wan'Dale Robinson caught 9 passes for only 46 yards today. That's insane. That is absolutely insane. We got a super chat here from Delvin. Juwan Jennings passed his job interview today, and he will play for the Giants next season low key. That might be this season, Delvin, if we're talking about that. I don't know. Maybe they trade for him after they saw. Maybe they complete a trade. I was joking. They're going to get Thibodeau and have him go across the field at halftime and pick up a Niners jersey and play on the other side. But, Mike, what are your overall thoughts on this game?
Yeah, you mentioned that Jennings didn't have a catch in the second half. And I noticed that, I want to say 2 weeks ago, where Kendrick Bourne was going crazy in the first half, and then it became the Juwan Jennings show. In the second half of this game, it went from Juwan Jennings to Kendrick Bourne. So I'm wondering if that's something Kyle's doing to try to catch teams off guard, like switching who his possession guy is or his third down guy is when it comes to receivers in the second half. Overall, though, this game never felt like it was out of control for the Niners. It was a little bit demoralizing on the opening drive, just watching how easily they went down the field. But again, I know what the score says. It never felt this close once the Niners got rolling here. Only a couple of punts in the game. You had that untimely turnover, but that's bound to happen when you're playing with this many injured players on the offense. So a turnover somewhere is going to happen. You just got to be able to overcome it. I thought the penalties were down overall for the Niners. Anytime we can keep it less than 8 or 9, it's a good game for us. And the special teams was contributing. Again, they had some decent returns, like you pointed out, some good punts, a couple of kicks. I think they let go a couple of times, so that was good as well. So the special teams is slowly getting better, and I guess this is what's going to be the result when you get some guys healthy and start getting those special teamers back to being where they're supposed to be instead of having to play on offense or defense. And so these are the things that are going to help the Niners get better, and that's why, as much as I was against it at the end of last game, that I'm back on board with, hey, Tuesday's the deadline. Let's pull the trigger on somebody. Let's pull the trigger on a couple of somebodies. I know Matt was expressing how he's a little bit concerned that the Niners could overshoot a little bit, and be thinking that we should be buyers. But the NFC is up for grabs, guys. I can't stress that enough. The NFC is really up for grabs. It is no one's conference right now, and the Niners are just as much in it as anybody else. And with health and reserves coming later on, so I do think we should pull the trigger and try to go out there and get somebody. The schedule is the schedule, and there's going to be more games like this on this schedule that are going to be winnable, even with backup and replacement level guys. So I think we should go out there and we got nothing to lose at this point.
And let me be clear when I say that I just don't want them to recklessly try to go out and make a splash and do something like, a first rounder for, Trey Hendrickson or whatever. You know what I mean? Like that would be a little bit too rich for a rental. If they go about it in a smart way, then I'm all for them adding pieces to be buyers at the deadline for sure. They just need to do it in an intelligent way. And you don't want to sacrifice your future for, I guess just don't go too far and sacrifice your future, because you need to think about the replacement for Trent Williams. You need to think about some of the replacements for some of the pieces that are going to leave. You have to worry about potentially, what does Nick Bosa look like coming back from a third ACL surgery in his career, and things like that. So you just got to be careful, do it the right way. But I do think that they should be buyers to an extent. I would definitely get rid of Jawan Jennings. And let's be real. They have comp picks coming again this year, just like they do every year. So it won't be too bad. I would say try to keep your first rounder 100%. I would maybe part with the second rounder if you think it's worth it, but they can't go whole hog crazy for some, psycho deal where they overpay.
Right. My thoughts on this are, if they could get somebody who has next year on their deal remaining, I would be all for it. I hope they don't trade more than a third. Maybe they can package a player or two together and get someone, or get multiple people. And I'm not taking a shot at the T, but it's like, we value the picks very much, right? Very highly. Nick Martin can't sniff the field. He was the 75th pick. Mike and I talked about this on the last show. We all know about Joe Williams. These third round picks, they don't really turn into sometimes they do, but sometimes they also don't. It's like, wouldn't you rather get an established player? Now, that also comes with, if you're not getting somebody on a rookie contract, the higher pay. So hopefully they can get somebody on a rookie contract. I was big on Jalen Phillips, and then I was, pretty brutally reminded that the dude had to medically retire in college, and he's had a torn ACL and a torn Achilles since coming into the NFL. We can't fucking keep guys healthy that haven't been hurt before ever. So we probably shouldn't trade for a guy that has had insane injury history, no matter how good he is. There's a rumor today that the Giants are asking for a first for Thibodeau, which is just fucking insane, because I get he's younger than Trey Hendrickson, but Trey Hendrickson just finished the league in sacks last year, and the rumored asking price is like a third. So I don't know, man. I hope they trade for someone, whether it's Quincy Williams, Jermaine Johnson, Trey Hendrickson, I guess. I don't know. I prefer to get somebody younger to continue this youth movement with the 49ers defense. But my only hope is that they have more than 7 games left on their schedule, on their contract, excuse me, because getting a rental, unless you're giving up like a 5th or a 6th, like I don't know how much Jair Alexander has left on his contract, but the Ravens just traded him to the Eagles and swapped like 6th and 7th round picks. Like if they can get a guy for that, I wouldn't care at all if he only has this year left on his contract. But if we're talking about a 1st, 2nd round, 3rd round pick, and you're getting 8 games out of it, count me out. Because how many games is it even going to take for them to get acclimated to what the Niners are trying to do, learn the playbook? It is what it is. I saw somebody ask how many snaps Keon White played today. We won't know until tomorrow. I thought he looked good. He came in, got pressure. I thought the entire defensive line did a solid job today. If I remember off the top of my head, I think we got 2 sacks. Could have had more. Mike, do you have something to say?
No, I was coughing. Sorry.
Oh, you're good. You're good. Yeah, I see Niner Faithful. What about Bradley Chubb? I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to it, but again, he's not necessarily a younger addition. But I wouldn't. Dolphins got killed Thursday night. They're obviously sellers. They just fired their GM. I'd be fine with it. They just need established players, or at the very least, guys that are good enough to play on a rookie deal and still get pressure or cover whatever it is the Niners are asking them to do. Because if Williams really is out for the rest of the year, I mean, that's a huge loss to the Niners. The only benefit is, like Matt said earlier, we're supposed to get Bryce Huff back next week. It's possible we get Purdy and Pearsall back next week. We'll see. I guess we'll see once Ben Barch comes back if he gets the left guard position or if we're going to stick with Spencer Burford. Barch is like a walking injury as well. So we'll see. Burford, I thought, did a fine job today. Matt Hennessy, like Matt said, did a fine job. Overall, I was pleased with the Niners' performance today. This is the best win they've had all year, to where it wasn't, biting our nails and clenching our teeth and shit, it's going to come down to the last drive. Thankfully, it didn't. They were able to take care of business and then get out of MetLife. Unfortunately, not injury-free. There was also a play, I don't know if you guys caught that, where Kittle, I don't know if he rolled his ankle or something, but he kind of came off gingerly. He did go back in. I think he
went back in, yeah.
Yeah, but something to keep an eye on, I guess. Any other notes or anything from this injury? They have the Rams next week, and then they have the Cardinals, 2 back-to-back divisional games. The Rams is at home, and then they have to go to Arizona. So,
yeah, Kyle alluded in his press conference, and I don't know if you caught it, where they were talking about Brock Purdy and like when is he going to be back. Mac Jones might start against the Rams too. Kyle basically said it's going to be something that Purdy has to deal with for the rest of the year, and that it's just going to be a matter of when you can bring him back.
Yeah.
So very non-committal about him starting. We'll see. Part of me doesn't hate it, just from the simple fact is if you can bring Purdy back against a potentially lower class opponent like Carolina, that might be a little bit better for him to get his feet wet. Then you have one more game against Cleveland, and then you go into the bye week. So, yeah, we'll see though.
Yeah. That Cleveland defense is nasty though, and
it's nasty. I know, and you run the risk of playing too much double dutch. You know what I mean? You're sitting there trying to figure out when to jump in with Brock Purdy, and at some point or another, it's either going to be shit or get off the pot, because there's definitely going to be some level of rust there. And you're never gonna win. As soon as Brock Purdy makes a mistake, all the usual suspects will come out and question it and everything like that. So we'll see. We'll figure it out, I guess, coming up.
And in the meantime, Mac has proven to be capable to win games. Like, it's not like we're watching fucking Josh Dobbs or watching Brandon Allen out there. Like, Mac is good enough to win games. And yeah, Niner Faithful said the Panthers did beat the Packers. I think that says more about the Packers than the Panthers, but that's fine. They're an up and down team, the Panthers. I just think that with the 49ers, if you don't absolutely need Purdy back, the way that this injury is and the way it's been explained to me, the way I've researched it, it's so delicate that like you get stepped on, or if you step and plant weirdly, like you're re-injuring it and it could get worse. I mean, again, this is the injury Jack Lambert, had to retire of, decades ago. It's the injury that Patrick Willis had to retire of. Like, it's a very serious injury. And I know guys in real life that, aren't athletes that have had it. And we're talking like years down the line, and they say like they still deal with it every single day. So it's it's unfortunate. It really is unfortunate that it's that type of injury where it lingers. It couldn't have just been like a high ankle sprain or, a bruise, something. Like, of course, it's fucking turf toe. Same injury that Joe Burrow knocked him out for the year, by the way. So it's tough. Delvin Thomas says, "You guys are the best. I don't care what Delvin say." I don't know if I'm following here, but appreciate you either way. Matt, any final thoughts? I see we lost Mike here.
Yeah. No, I mean, listen, 6-3, given all the injuries, is pretty good, man. And the NFC is wide open. I know somebody pointed out in the chat that the Panthers did beat the Packers today. So it is any given Sunday, and you do have to go out and put your best foot forward. But I do feel like there is room for the 49ers to really start to make moves in the NFC. And the division is definitely in play, and, making the playoffs obviously in play. So we just have to be ready. They have to stay ready to play, come out, don't play down to your opponent. Today they did a good job offensively of not doing that. I'd like to see a little bit tighter on the defensive end when you're up by 2 scores. Mike alluded to it. I know we've all talked about it before. It used to be all gas, no brakes. We don't really hear that anymore, despite Salah being back. There definitely is a little bit of braking when they're up by a couple scores, and they need to not do that. So overall, great team win, and they got to carry it forward into a tough division game next week. The Rams are absolutely dog walking the Saints today. So maybe we catch them in a little bit of post blowout, reload period.
Hopefully that's all we can ask for. In the meantime, Niners are 6-3. I want to say they're 6-1 in the division, or excuse me, in the NFC. And they're 3-1 on the road or something like that. 4-1 on the road. I had tweeted it earlier. Let me see if I could find it. But it's very impressive what they've been able to do, considering all the injuries that they've dealt with. It's just, I don't know. They're 6-3, 6-1 in the NFC, and 4-2 on the road. Very impressive. It's very impressive what they've been able to do. Mike isn't here to plug his Patreon or Nothing But Niners, but I'll do it for him. Make sure you guys check out patreon.com/NB9ERS. YouTube TV just lost ESPN. Mike is streaming every game for even the lowest tier members. So go check out patreon.com/NB9ERS. You can also follow Nothing But Niners on Instagram. Their handle's below on the screen. Make sure you guys take advantage of that, and go shout out to patreon.com, Nothing But Niners. All of our personal handles are on the screen. You can follow us personally and RGS Pod, 49ers Hive, Nothing But Niners. Just plugging all of our stuff here. Matt, in the meantime, could you close this out? Could you do us the honors?
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, great team win. Like I said, tough game against the Rams next week. Always tough in a divisional opponent. The 49ers beat the Rams earlier this season, so Sean McVay is going to want a little modicum of revenge there. They have to come out sharp. They have to do a good job on both sides of the ball, offensively, defensively, and, of course, on special teams. But 6-3 after everything they've gone through is definitely a positive sign. We will be back to preview the game and go over what the 49ers either do or don't do for Tuesday's trade deadline. It's going to be an interesting week, so make sure you guys join us here. So for Mike, who unfortunately is going through reception hell, it looks like, and for Zach, who always holds it down for us, and for myself, we couldn't do this without you guys. We love having you here, so thank you for joining us today. And until next time, go Niners.